Today I want to talk about how to increase your workflow and to stay organized by using a custom-made template in your DAW. In this case, I'm working in FL Studio. I'll go through how my own template is set up, the one you're looking at right now. I'll give it away for free at my website. First of all, what is a template? A template is a custom-made project that opens up every time you start your DAW. And some of the benefits of having a template is, first of all, increased workflow. I've saved hundreds of hours of my time by using this template. Second of all, it helps you stay organized. That is, in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits. Staying organized is very important if you're like me and you're collaborating a lot with other artists. Maybe you're selling music like I do. I do a lot of ghost production and mixing for other people. Then staying organized is key. Having a template also makes it much easier when you're exporting your projects, because I have it set up so every time I want to export something I can easily do that, and I have everything named logically and I don't get too many stems. You also save CPU, in my opinion, by having a template, because when you do the processing in buses instead of processing each individual track, you use less plugins and you save CPU. This is also very important for me since many of my projects get really big and I want to do as much of the mixing as possible in one project. So let's have a look at my own template. As you can see, I have named the different channels of the project and I have different colors for the different channels. First of all, I have the reference tracks. If you want to use reference tracks, you can add them here on top. Then I have some tracks for the vocals, and in my case, the vocals tend to have sometimes even more tracks than this, so I want to leave a lot of space for the vocals because they are, in my opinion, the most important part of a lot of projects. Then we have the bass. I usually add a lot of bass samples and stuff like that, so the bass can take up a lot of room in my projects. Then we have room for the kick here, and we also have room for the instruments, for the leads, for the drums, and for the effects. Down here I have the automation, and I have it set up so some automation is already done when I open up the project. There's some things that I tend to do almost every time in a track. And to save time, I have done this automation already. So I have the volume here. In almost every track, I tend to do some volume automation. For example, you may want to have the verses in a lower volume and the chorus or the drop in a louder volume, and here you can easily change that. I also have set up a low cut on the master, so if you want to, for example, before a chorus, remove some of the low end, then you can easily do this here. I have also some automation for the lead, some automation for the instruments, the chords, pads, etc., drums, snares. Yeah, that saves a lot of time. And then finally I have the sidechain already set up. Over the years I've learned that the way I like to do the sidechain for each individual track. So for example, I have the sidechain for the sub bass already done. I know more or less how it usually looks. I have sidechaining done for the basses, for the drums, for the leads, for the instruments, etc. Already set up. I like to do different amounts of sidechain for different instruments. So if we take a look at the mixer, we can see that each instrument or sound has its own place in the mixer. So here we have the vocal tracks, and they are colored in green, and they are all routed to the same bus, the vocal bus. And the same goes for the bass sounds and the drum sounds. leads, instruments and effects. Everything is routed to its own bus in the mixer. And this is where I've added the sidechain also. So you can see that all the effects is routed to this effects bus, and I have done sidechaining on that bus. So that makes it very easy, since I tend to want to sidechain all the effects the same amount. And same goes for the instruments, the leads and everything else. So that's very useful. I have separated the kick, the sub and the top bass sounds, because that makes it very easy to mix things. But you can set up, of course, your own template however you want, or you can take this template and make some changes so it fits your needs. Then everything goes to a Premaster, and on the Premaster I have the balance that I talked about, so I can easily change the volume of the entire track. And I just have a limiter on there and a EQ preset that I tend to use on most mixes. But my idea with this template is to have very few plugins and mostly use the FL Studio plugins. Yes, that goes to the Premaster and then into the master. And the reference tracks I have set to a different channel. And this is very useful, because if I'm referencing a part of my track, I can very easily turn it on and off and compare it to the Premaster. So I do all of my mastering on this Premaster, because then I have two mastered tracks that I can compare to each other. I hope this template can help you stay organized and work faster. If you want it, grab it for free on my website, and I'll see you in the next video.